We always have the hogan. The hogan is so very important as part of the traditional ceremony. And if you look at the entryway, they always take the door away, or they remove the door out of the way, so they never have the wood door or any kind of material as a door, except a blanket or some kind of a covering for the entryway. And that's very important. Among the teachings of our people, one of the very first things that we learn at a very early age is that of the holy people, the Yendane. The Yendane is sacred holy beings, is what the word the Yendane means. And so the teachings of our people, the ones that are the actual meat of all of the teachings about holy people, only take place at ceremonies and special occasions where certain ceremonies are conducted for individuals or for families or for the well-being of our environment. And so the holy people are some people that we are introduced to. Some are individual sacred beings, like the Supreme Being, the one that we call Yuhana'e Nihitra, which is to say the Supreme Being that is our Father, Nihitra. And when they say Yuhana'e, they're not referring to the Son. They say Jigohona'e Ho'e. That is the word. Now, this is some word that I'm allowing to have people having to understand, because it is what is taught in the sweat lodge. It is what is taught in the sacred ceremonial setting. Only one word, Jihana'e, which is to say, and that is the Supreme Being, the Father of us all, and that's the one that most prayers are directed to, directly to Jihana'e Nihitra. And so that is the most sacred of all of the holy beings. But they have sub-holy people, sub-helpers in that occasionally they come in various forms, or in most cases they come as sacred beings themselves, as another person or another individual entirely. But they come to deliver messages or to give special instructions for certain things that we may be encountering. And these are sacred holy beings, and they are the ones that we recognize as holy people. And they come at various times. Sometimes we may give them labels, and throughout the history of the Neh, and some of those are even like Spider Woman. She was an actual person that had special gifts and taught the Neh women how to make and weave clothing and rugs and blankets and so on. But there are other holy beings in that. Some that taught us how to recognize the weather at different times of the season. And so these are sacred beings that we're here to instruct the Neh as how to live life and how to make things uncomplicated. And the holy people are people that help the Supreme Being in that to give us information here in this life. And throughout the world there are many different denominations and various beliefs and faiths and so on. And so if you were to identify holy people based on that understanding, you might consider Adam and Eve, the first man and the first woman, would be holy people. And then the man that led when a flood occurred, Noah. And then you have a number of different teachings in that offered by Christianity, or even by people like Gandhi and Mohammed, and all these different people at various times in the history of the world. And Buddha, these people came and they provided very specific type of information to the various people of their time period. And these people could be considered holy people because they gave messages and information, and that was considered very special, and the people needed that type of information so that they could have a greater relationship with their deity. When sacred information is shared the most open to the general population of the Neh are at these sacred ceremonies. And if anyone has ever attended and participated in any of these ceremonies, we always have the hogan. The hogan is so very important as part of the traditional ceremony. And if you look at the entryway, they always take the door away, or they remove the door out of the way, so they never have the wood door or any kind of material as a door, except a blanket or some kind of a covering for the entryway. And that's very important. Yeah, when you approach a ceremony and you're outside and you hear a ceremony going on inside, you wait until the singing is done or until the prayer is completed, and then you say something to the effect of, "May I come in?" or "May I enter?" You say, "Yahe Shahe," which means shout so that people can hear you inside. And in the old traditional way, they say, "Haishane," or "Who is asking for permission to enter?" And you would say sometimes your ceremonial name, your sacred ceremonial name, and the clan that you are a descendant of. And then they would say, "Ushte," which means enter then. And that was the original traditional way of entering a ceremony. And inside of that ceremony are things that are discussed that cannot be discussed outside of that ceremonial setting. Just like what you were taught in a sweat lodge. You cannot take that information out and share it. So a lot of times people ask me about some information that includes teachings of the fourth world. And people always want to say, what is in the fourth world? What is about the fourth world? Well, I would tell you about the fourth world if a person could prepare themselves spiritually. If they understood that this information is spiritual information at the highest level. If people were to be given that information, they would mock it. They may say things about it, and they would render their opinion. It's not that way with sacred information that includes the holy people, sacred information that they provided to the Ne, all through the thousands of years that they have been here in this area or on the surface of Mother Earth. And so those are the things that we are told about the holy people, and those are the things that we share.